This is Tara from Funeral 365, and I know what you're thinking right now. I've seen your face before, Tara. Where? Well, I'll tell you on our Facebook Live interviews during conventions. So, I'm back again at ICCFA 2024 in Tampa, Florida, which is so amazing because the weather is great. So, let's start off with our first interview for this convention with Surety Capital Corporation and ANSI Mutual Financial. Come on. Okay, I'm here today with Mike and Danny. Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, doing great.
Yes, amazing. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Mike, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm an attorney that works in the insurance assignment industry. How I got here was my father-in-law has been in this industry for 50 years, and he paved the way for this market. And he used to go to CLEs and all the different state conventions away from his family in the 70s. No one even knew that this was a valid service or they could use insurance assignments to pay for funeral costs. When I met and married his daughter, he got me into this business. And he sent me to law school, and now I enforce the rights of the funeral homes, the beneficiaries, and Surety Capital Corporation and all the companies.
Wow.
I think last year I filed probably over 100 lawsuits against insurance companies for delay of payment, or making a mistake. And that includes employers that make a mistake and tell us that they have coverage and they don't have coverage. All those different things that can go wrong, from accepting insurance as a form of payment. But it's a layer of protection for the funeral homes that use Surety Capital Corporation's companies, in that the families don't have to worry once we fund their claim that it's not going to come back to them.
Yeah.
The families or the funeral homes. So that's how I got into it.
Wow. That's
In 1998 is when I started.
1998. I wasn't even born. I'm so young.
I'm so old.
Okay, your turn, Danny. Tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Danny Smith. I started my career as an attorney. Much of my work dealt with funeral homes and handling their life insurance claims. And I decided as time went by to start a life insurance assignment funding business to assist not only my local funeral homes, but funeral directors and funeral homeowners throughout the United States. So I started in my business funding the life insurance assignments in 1997, and I've now been doing this for all the years since.
Wow. Great. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, guys. Amazing.
Either one.
Okay, let me just start here with a question for you, Mike.
Okay.
How does Surety Capital Corporation stay up to date with changes in the legal and regulatory landscape that may impact your services?
I think it's more of, for me, because I file a lot of lawsuits, most of the claims don't have issues, but human error comes into play, and probably 96, 97% are okay, but the 3%, we have problems, and I have to file lawsuits. So that's the way I keep current, is because I'm consistently being challenged with frivolous arguments from other attorneys. So I'm always up to date on what the law is, and we do our business in all 50 states. So I have to learn that law in every different state. So I'm challenged, and I have to research it and rebut their argument. So it's great because I'm on this life insurance. Just this segment, and no attorney can develop that knowledge that I have, because there's just not enough business for them. So, but for me, being part of this factoring company, it is. So I usually know more than my attorneys that I go against, and that's how I keep up to date, by being challenged with other attorneys.
That's great. That's great. So, second question, and certainly not the least, because we're moving forward with Danny after this. What measures does Surety Capital Corporation take to handle contestable claims and navigate the legal system effectively?
Well, a lot of funeral homes will pass on a contestable claim, but if you're in a state that has consumer-friendly laws like Texas, Kansas, there's a few other ones, and you have to prove insurance fraud. And it's very difficult to prove insurance fraud for a contestable claim when the person is dead. So those claims should be paid, but a lot of funeral homes, it's about education, getting them to know what contestable claim you can take, if you're in the right state for a contestable claim that we can take. And also, if the person's younger, the chances are we can take that claim even though it's contestable for various reasons, and we'll explain that to the funeral home. But we're one of the only funding companies that will take a contestable claim, will fund the funeral, and the funeral home doesn't have to worry about a chargeback or the family. Once we pay it, we'll litigate it. If I lose, we write it off. But I never lose. So.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's the way to go, you know. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're going to move on with Danny. Oh,
thank you.
Great. Nice
All right.
reflex. So, Danny, first question. How does the NC Mutual Financial reduce administrative costs for funeral directors and streamline the overall funding process?
We make it simple. So when the family comes into the funeral home and the arrangement is made, the funeral director needs to know how they're going to be paid. And their standard methods of payment are cash, check, credit card, or some other immediate form of payment. When the family hands them the life insurance policy, the funeral director is going to have to process that policy, file the claim, and wait to be paid. What we do is take all the administrative work off of the funeral director. So they have the beneficiary sign an assignment of the benefits to our company. We then have our case manager on that particular funeral home verify the coverage, confirm the beneficiary, and then in ordinary circumstances, within 24 to 48 hours, we direct deposit their funds directly into the funeral home account. How it helps the funeral home is, one, they never have to call an insurance company ever again. We do that call, that contact for them. Two, they don't have to wait for their money. And three, the beneficiary has the satisfaction of knowing that they've walked into the funeral home, many of them unable to pay by cash, check, or credit card, and the funeral home has accepted the insurance. So they have a good, honorable funeral and reception or whatever. So we take all the work off the funeral home and all the time it takes to do that, and we do it ourselves at no cost to the funeral home.
Wow.
So our fee, which is standard fee, very reasonable, is charged to the beneficiary of the life insurance and the funeral contract. So the funeral home gets its money up front at no cost and has a happy family they've served.
Did you guys hear those 3 reasons? I hope you did. Those 3 points? I really hope you did. Okay, so next question, and the final question for this amazing interview. What steps does NC Mutual Financial take to maintain strong relationships with funeral directors and ensure their satisfaction with your overall services?
Constant contact. So not only we first assign one case manager to them in our company, and we have dozens. So they get the familiarity of knowing that the person handling their claims for the assignments is the same person all the time. In addition to that, they have me. I'm Director of Business Development. Every funeral director gets my personal cell phone number, and they can call me anytime, day or night, 7 days a week. And so many of them have told me how that is so different than working with other companies that do what we do, because they have regular hours, 9 to 5, let's say Monday through Friday. What happens in the evening when they need somebody or some advice?
Exactly.
Or on Saturday or Sunday? They call me, I take care of it.
That's great. Thank you guys so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And let's give those people your website URL.
SRYP.net.
And NC Mutual Financial is ncmutualfinancial.com. I'd also like to give them my cell phone number, because I said I always make it available.
Go ahead.
Everybody can call
listening.
me except solicitors.
Okay.
And that's area code 757-714-7156. And I look forward to hearing from people soon.
Okay, well, bye guys. We'll see you at our next interview.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.